Hey people, welcome to another episode of Doing It 365 with your host, Sir Influential out of Flags 365. This is the podcast where I highlight the prominent as well as up and coming entities within the Afro Caribbean community, both locally and abroad. Now, it's the end of March, International Women's Month. As I round up very nicely, neatly with some amazing guests, I had to get another woman on board. And in this time, it's in an industry that is so, I believe, deprived of the movers and shakers that are from the Afro-Caribbean community, whether they are writers, script directors, filmmakers, you name it. I feel like there are some women in here doing some major things, and it's only right that my guest today is someone that is of the same mindset as me, from the same background as me, pushing through and showing that women can really create and curate amazing film content that is not or what we were typically used to seeing. My guest today is the beautiful and stunning Olivia Fraser from Brown Sugar Movement. Olivia, my dear, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Thank you very much for making your time available. I know you are very busy. There's so much going on in the world of film and content creation, but it's good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Lovely. Give us a little bit of background history into who you are, what got you into film, at what age, and why this particular career and why you created the movements and the brands that you have now.
Yeah. I've always been like into the arts, so I've always been like into like drama and like I watch lots of TV and stuff like that. So I wanted to be an actress like all the way up to like university. And then I kind of realized that there isn't enough script or opportunities for actresses to actually have. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to actually start writing. And then I just felt like, I'm a Christian, I felt like God was telling me, like, Olivia, this is the path I'm trying to take you down. Like, I'm trying to actually get you to do more writing and directing. That's your path, not acting. So that's kind of how it all burst. And then after uni, when I just started to write more, direct more. And then obviously through that, I was like realizing so much things about, so many things that Black women were doing were being celebrated or put on. And there are some amazing platforms that we already have that do like a really great job at doing that. But I just wanted to create one that I felt was very general, very inclusive. And that's how Brown Sugar Movement came about. After that, Brown Sugar Awards, and then we'll just keep going. Like, there's no stopping us.
Lovely. That's
All
really
right.
interesting. Yeah, you're good. We can hear you.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. That is astounding to hear, and I definitely agree with you. The women and the actors need to be able to give their ideas and give themselves room and space to breathe. So, when you were growing up, what were some of the films you were watching that made you say, yeah, you know what? This is a bit of me. This speaks to me.
What was that films I was watching growing up? When I was very young, I don't like remember like the specific. It's weird because I watched a lot of like I can remember a lot when cable came into my life. So like cartoons and like I watched a lot of TVs. Like I like things that are like quite relatable, things that I like things that I can relate to in terms of like being a woman. So like one-on-one, or I was watching Wife and Kids. I was watching things that I felt like I could see myself in. That's kind of what I grew up on. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of different types of films. I enjoy lots of types of films. I enjoy like Harry Potter all the way to like Brown Sugar. Like I love like a genre of films. 300. So I enjoy different types of escapism that films bring. It's just that I love plots and I love stories that are about like real life and about things that people have experienced and like gone through.
That's dope. And it's so funny you mentioned Harry Potter, yeah, because in one of the previous episodes I did with Lorraine from the Bella and Logan book series, she mentions that one of the books that she enjoyed growing up and reading was Harry Potter. And I was like, yo, listen, can't chat to me about Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling and me are dogs. I remember in school, I was like the first one to run to W. Smith in Brixton and buying the book, sitting down in Brixton McDonald's reading that. I'm not even buying food. I'm just sitting down in there reading that. Prisoner of Azkaban, The Goblet of Fire. What do you mean? But then watching it in the film with my brother. I'm too dumb to watch it by myself. Crazy. And I still have the books. There's a bit on my,
so young. I don't know how old you
are. Up on my shelf.
No, we were still kind of youngish when even the films came out.
Exactly.
So we wasn't enjoying. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
To the point where my mom she recently, I could say that in the last 12 months, bought me a Harry Potter Gryffindor pillow.
Wow.
So that's how that
shows
you
love is real.
Yeah, but it's like I don't have any use for it now. I'm a big man. I'm not really fascinated by that kind of stuff anymore. But I'm just like, well, that's nice. It's in my room. It's there. I use it to rest some stuff on. But dope. So I love that. I love how it's crazy how the things that we at the time were just like, yeah, this is a phase, really influence us and build us into who we are today now. So as you got older, what was some of the character building? Because I feel like films help you to build your character in a way. Would you agree? So what were some of the films that, as a young adult, as a young teenager even, shaped you, made you say, you know what, I look at the world differently now. And as a woman, you say, yeah, I like how they represent me as a woman in that, or I don't really like how they represent me in that film.
Whoa. Do you know what? Like I said, I think we grew up feeling like I was American. So I grew up obviously watching My Life and Kids, I'm watching One-on-One, and especially things like One-on-One, all the girls, you started to take on their mannerisms and how they kind of were enjoying life as in school and this. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I kind of started to adopt. And I think that was a massive thing growing up, that the amount of American influences that were in TV and film. And I think that was something I realized, that our stories as Black British people weren't on TV enough, unless we were starring in EastEnders, or do you know what I mean? As one black person in EastEnders or something. So I think I watch a lot of American films and I watch a lot of American TV. And I think for me, they influenced me because they showed a reality that a lot of us wish you could have lived, go to high school, this prom life, Sweet 16, a lot of reality TV. We watching Sweet 16, watching these people get cars and this and that, and we were like, wait, is that thing that we get? Are we gonna get that? Not the reality. So I think it was a great escapism. It made us feel like there's something to hope for, but reality really hit a lot of us when we got older, because it was yo, this is not life. This is not the life, unfortunately, you can live. So it was bittersweet because it was nice growing up on those things, but the reality is it's not our reality.
That's very true. That is definitely very, very true. So what did you study at uni to say, all right, I really want to take this further? And how do you now use your uni degree to propel you into the industry that you're into now?
I was doing drama, and you know what's so mad? I was doing drama and film, but I took off film because I was like, I just want to do drama. And I was like, and now looking back at it, I should have kept film and dropped the drama. But that's what I was studying, and in my head I wanted to be an actress. That was it. So would I go back? No, because at uni is where I met loads of my closest friends. It's where I learned about acting, and it's made me really appreciate what actors have to do. As a director now and a writer, I can understand how much an actor has to put in, and I'm able to see things from their perspective while I'm behind the screen. So it really helped me in that way, and I don't regret it, because you know what I mean, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot having that degree. It taught me a lot, and I'm glad I did it.
I love that. What were some of the challenges during that time as well? Because you're a young adult. What uni did you go to? Was it in London, out of London? Did you have family support? How was it? Was it obviously no degree is easy, but was it a bit harder than you expected? You know?
Do you know what? I'm from Manchester originally, but I live in London. So I went to Roehampton University, so shout out anybody who's from Rowie. And the Kingston, like, you know the vibe. So, oh my gosh, that was back then, man. So that's where I went uni. Sorry, what else did you ask me? Where did I go uni and?
What were some of the challenges you faced while you were studying the course? Obviously, every degree is hard in its own right, but for you, what were some of the things that particularly made you say this is really tough right now? Any distinctive struggles at the time before you got your full-on degree and then went into the industry?
So I think the biggest challenges for me were balancing like finances. I think people don't understand, like, uni time, a lot of the stress and that is coming from financial, like, headache, thinking of how you're going to pay things, do things, la 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 la. So I think that was like the biggest struggle in terms of a degree, if I'm going to be honest with you, because you're just thinking about it a long time studying. But I think the biggest challenges were just kind of understanding how to write, like because that's to write a script as a part of my degree. So learning how to script write, just like that was a dissertation, that was like our dissertation. So those were like the hardest things for me. And it's hard to this day. Like writing is not, for me, it's not something that gets easier. It just comes from inspiration. But I think those were the biggest challenges for me during uni time. And adapting to London culture, I was from Manchester and I didn't have loads of friends and those things. I moved down here with my best friend and that was it. And then I just had to like make friends and, you know what I mean? And at that age, it starts to get harder and techie and do you get what I'm saying? And like people don't always have their guards down.
In their friendship groups already, and the British culture is the yeah.
You know how it is. Like everybody's already in their clique. So I was just kind of just like trying to like find my place, find my feet. But I knew that I had a big goal and a big picture, and I was very much focused on what I wanted to achieve. Like so, but I'm a socialite, so it's hard not to have like friends. Do you know what I mean? Like loads of, and when all your people in Manchester, it was a difficult time, but thank God for the friends I have now, and I made along the way, and I made some great friends in university as well. So yeah,
that's good. That's dope. Let's talk about some of the actresses as well that made you say, yes, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. Name some of them. Give me 3 women and 3 men that when you saw them in the different films, playing the different roles, that really spoke to your heart and said, you know what? You make me want to do this. You are the reason why I want to be an actress.
Oh, that's so hard. Because I don't feel like I saw anyone who made me want to be an actress. I just wanted to be an actress. But I thought there were actresses that I really loved and looked forward to. So like Angela Bassett, that's like my favorite actress of all time, period.
Angela Bassett,
yeah, Angela Bassett. I really love, do you know what? I really grew up watching a lot of American Internationally. I can't lie to you. Those little twin girls, bro, those are like who I grew up with as a young girl. They bodied the whole industry in like their whole childhood. So I just watched that like, whoa, they just got everything they wanted, just like that. And they were great actresses. I'm trying to think who else. I think like lots of like black women that I saw in TV. Like I say TV heavily because I feel like I said, I keep repeating my kids on One-on-One and those and the Parkers and those kind of black sitcoms that I grew up on, because those had a lot of acting, a lot of funny like personality, and do you know what I mean? Like, and I saw a lot of black women through that. So those shows kind of were a massive influence. Male actors, I'm trying to think who was like, stand out. I don't know. I think at that time I was just watching men, but maybe I wasn't even thinking about that. I was a young girl. I don't even know if I was thinking you're a great actor. I was just thinking, oh, he's good looking.
Yeah.
I wasn't appreciating it then, like I do now, but actresses definitely.
I love that. I love the honesty, and it's so true. it's interesting when you watch and you see, like you said, you mentioned Mary Kay and Ashley, you see their growth and development. You're like, because you're a child watching young children or young teenagers go through their career while still being human, while still being, celebrities in their own right, superstars in their own right. And to want to get into that industry, it must make you feel like, I don't know, was there a thing of, oh yeah, this is really making me say, yes, I want to do this more, or is this really for me, or is this not for me? Because it's not easy, like you said, being an actress or an actor or even a film director. Let's look at now as well. When did you write your first script? Like, what was your first ever script like? Like the roughest one? Was it like an idea?
The roughest one. The first time I wrote my first proper script was for uni, so that wasn't my roughest one. But the first time I wrote a little script for myself was like afterwards when I did a little series called Ladyhood. Ah, God bless that series. Like, me and my girls got together and we were like, we're gonna make this series. I wrote it and we just acted in it and doing whatever and just having like, it was just about like real life, about like things that we go through in relationships and jobs and work and friendship, and God bless it. That's the kind of content I wanted to see like at that stage of my life and still now. But that was the first. It was rough, like, but I had it filmed. I did it. You know what I mean? Like, I had to rate myself for doing these things at a young age. But
definitely,
yeah, Ladyhood.
Ladyhood was the first one. All right, cool. So how do you now create film? Like, because in these particular times, what were the different steps and elements to being a film writer? Did you have to do additional training? Is there a particular school or building or study or group that you go to get certified and accredited to say, yeah, you're a qualified film writer or filmmaker, director? Let's go.
There's different ways you can get into this industry. Doing it through schooling is a really good way to do it. I didn't do it through it like that, but I think I still would have to go back and learn things. Learning how to write a script is a very intense thing. It's got a way. There's a way to write like theatre, and there's a way to write like screen, and there's a way to write like movie, do you know what I mean? So TV shows, all of it has different ways to be written and stuff. So as a filmmaker, you do need to learn those things. And that's something I'm still learning, because I'm still a baby in this thing. I'm just still learning. And I'm just learning about like the detail and what to put in a script, what doesn't need to be on paper. Because what the writer does and what the director does and what a producer does and everyone's job is so different. But everyone relies on the script. The script is the Bible. So that's why being a writer is like one of the, I would say it's the hardest job. Like, being a writer is the hardest job. You're creating the content, and that's why writers are so precious. Like, they're the ones that create the things we see. And I think a lot of respect has to be on the writers' names, So I feel like you definitely should study it if you can. Even if you've just fallen into it and you love it, you don't have to study on paper, but go and like be mentored by someone or talk to people who write and get them to like read your scripts and get advice, and don't be afraid to take criticism. Like, I've taken so much criticism, but I just keep going. Like, it's not a bad thing. You just got to learn from it, or sometimes it's just like, look, sweetie, you're not doing, you try your hardest, but you're not always going to be the best. And that's okay. Do you know what I mean? That's all right. So I think in this journey, there's different ways you can come into the industry, but it's just about how you decide that you want to carry on. So just make sure you learn from all your experiences and people around you.
I love that. Who was your mentor? Because you mentioned that you had obviously it's good to get a mentor. Was there anybody mentoring you? Who could you rely on when you were now getting into your flow of writing scripts and you're thinking, should you go down the movie route? Do you want to go down series? Do you want to do film? Do you want to do theater? Because I'm sure at this time now, we're growing with social media as well. So you're seeing, we're going from VHS to DVDs to Blu-ray to seeing even the way how movies are done in the cinemas are changing and evolving as well. So there's probably all these different influences impacting you. So how do you now focus it in and say, you know what, yeah, this is my lane that I want to be in? And did you have a mentor? If so, who were they? Or who were they? Sorry.
I had a mentor. I wish I did, like, honestly. Well, I never had a mentor. I just never had, like, again, I think moving from Manchester was like a big thing. I was just trying to find my feet, just pay things, like pay rent and that. So I never always had time to always do loads of things and go see everyone. And there's lots of people I looked up to and I followed and stuff, but I don't think I had like a mentor. But I think now I have lots of people in my life who are big influences. So my friend Delia, who's a great writer, Colby, another writer, director. Like there are so many people now who I can rely on and be like, oh, can you give me honest feedback on this? I'm a part of like a writers group of Black women on WhatsApp, and we have like a WhatsApp. So like we do script swaps on there. We talk about opportunities and things, and I think that's just something I've gotten older, but I feel like it is easier when you're a bit older because you can handle that level of input and the maturity to kind of learn. I'm one of them people that don't believe that you have to rush to get master's degrees and things and certain things. Like when you're ready to learn and you've got the maturity and the mindset to absorb the information properly, that's when it should happen. And now I feel like I'm in this step where I'm like, okay, I need to get this book and learn this and So I don't have like an actual, I would say, mentor, but right now where I'm at in life, I have lots of people around me who can help me, influence me, who inspire me. And so yeah, it's a good place to be now.
It sounds like it. I love that. I love to hear that. Talk to us about the Brown Sugar movement. When was that formed? How did that grow? What was the moment that made you say, you know what, I really need to create this now? And bam, this is what it is. And why the name Brown Sugar Movement?
Black women are brown sugar, period. So I was like, look.
I'm drinking that water because I don't want to be thirsty, but it's facts. It's facts.
So I was like, you know what, brown sugar is good for you and it's sweet. It's just the perfect thing. So I was like, you know what? I really like the name Brown Sugar. And Beyonce had a t-shirt and it had brown sugar on it. And I was like, see that sign? You see when Beyonce gives you the sign? You go with it. So I was like, B, thank you. I'm gonna go with it.
It's a go, it's a go. Yes.
So I was like, cool, it's gonna be called Brown Sugar Movement. But I came up with it when I was like a couple of years ago, like three and a bit years ago. And I was like, I really want to create a platform where we just like put on Black women. You don't have to be super woke. It doesn't always have to be like, yeah, like this is going on in society and this and petition that and all this, and you need to have this level of intelligence to understand. But at the same time, you can have that and you can have things for hair and beauty and just like, do you know what I mean? Like it can be a mixture of things on one platform. And I knew that with our platform, I wanted to evolve it and have all these different elements to it. And the award show is just the first element that we got to start with those 2 years in a row. So after this, there's lots of other things I want to do start this year, but the platform itself is more about the pillars that's going to be around. So obviously the award show is one of them. I mean, we'd love to do like a clothing line, and then there's something we want to do this year, and eventually we'd love to go to schools. So there'll be like pillars where it will be like Brown Sugar Movement's here, but it's the pillars that are making the impact, that's creating the legacy. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a big reader, so for me, I'm more about action, impact, things going into meeting people. That's my thing. So I was like, it's not going to make sense for me to create like a blog or, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of a platform. Yes. So yeah, that's how it came about.
That's dope. I love that. And who are some of the people that you've worked with in this time? You said you've made Brown Sugar Movement it's been about for 3 years now. Give us some of the people you've worked with, some of the things you've done in this space of time now to really make you say, you know what, yes, this was the right decision, and here is as they say, the fruits of the labor.
I run it with my best friend Maria, so it's us two that actually run the platform. But do you mean anything like people we've worked with that we really love, like?
Yes.
Do you mean like on brands and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we've worked with, I mean, let me not lie, we've engaged with so many amazing Black women, like people from like Oloni to like even, her name was just slipped my mind, and she's Hackney's Labour MP.
Diana Abbott.
So like even from like all these kind of women do businesses, like entrepreneurs. We spoke to Diana Abbott because she was going to come to the first award show, but she couldn't make it. But it's been having things like that, working with big brands like Cantu, who sponsored our first one, and then in our second one, working with a smaller brand but with just as massive impact called Tribal UK, who she's a woman that creates like candles. So it's just mad. Like we've worked with Rich Mix, who I work for, and they're an amazing like company, and they have the building, and we did our award show there during COVID. It was crazy, but we managed to do it. So we've managed to really like contact and connect with a lot of different kind of people and on different levels, which is important. So not everyone here, not everyone there, just a broad spectrum of people, especially Black women.
I love that. That's fantastic to hear. And shouts out to what you're doing. It's really phenomenal. It's really important. It's really necessary as well. And again, I have to say, I'm so glad I'm having this conversation to really highlight to the rest of the community that, hey, pay attention to this brand, look out for this brand. And please, folks, if you're watching this right now, you're live or you're watching it back on the replay, go and click the link in the description box below and make sure you're following Brown Sugar Movement and make sure you're following Brown Sugar Awards and support. Let's give our women our fullest support in every single capacity, and especially in an industry where there's not enough of them. Their voice is not loud enough, but they are the movers and the shakers. They are some phenomenal movies and shakers happening right now in the film industry. Let's look at in the recent times now, in the last 2 to 3 years, what are some of the films that have come out that have made you say, yo, this is great? Like 12 Years a Slave, The Orange is the New Black. What are some of the series and films that have come out recently, that made you say, yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm liking how this director, helped to bring this to life.
Yeah. What I love Insecure. That series, see that series there?
Issa Rae?
Issa Rae, the queen, like the GOAT right now. She's blueprinting the industry right now. That is one of, if I could have wrote that series, it would have been Insecure. You get, like, it's relatable, it's funny, it's serious, it's just real, it's also well acted, and you know what I mean? It keeps you on edge, you want to watch more. I just love it. Like, that's probably one of the most defining series for me of my generation, Insecure. Other series that I really like series that have like lots of, how can I say? So like series like Suits, like I feel like Suits is old, but I just like started watching Suits and go back. But series like where the acting is just clear and the writing is just amazing, like those are kind of like the series that like draw me in now. So like I said, Suits, that's like on the different side of like the series spectrum. And then if you want to go like before Insecure, we had things like Girlfriends and those, and more like those Girlfriends is what kind of like helped pave the way for things like Insecure to come about. So in terms of series, like I can go in lots of directions as long as the script is amazing and the acting brings it out. That's for me. But if I'm gonna say one, it's gonna be Insecure for me, like always. Film wise, that's so difficult. There've been a lot of defining films where I've watched it and I thought, yeah, you're gonna stand the test of time. So Rocks, that came out recently, written by Teresa. She's an amazing writer, and she wrote Girls, which was in the theater like a couple of years ago. And it's that movie. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
This film, and it's on Netflix. Like, if you get a chance, go watch it. Like, that's an amazing film, just very real, very raw. Yeah, very real, very raw, and it's about girlhood, and like what so many young women have gone through. It's just an amazing film. I'm trying to think of all films that, I thought just quickly go on Netflix, yeah, and see
Go
what
for it.
films
Yeah,
I've loved.
take your time and go for it.
I really love The United States versus Billie Holiday. I watched that recent. That's a recent film I watched, which I really loved.
What did you love about it?
Say that again.
What did you love about it?
Again, the acting. Like, I'm one of them people where it's like, see the acting, that's one thing that will always sway me on a film. Like, when the acting is great and the writing is great, that's really good. And she's a new actress, and she bodied Billie Holiday. She absolutely killed that role. And she's already won like awards for it. So yeah, that's as like a more recent film, something I've like really, really loved. I'm trying to think of films because nowadays, like, you watch films on like so many platforms. It's sometimes your memory's trying to think, like, did I watch something on Amazon Prime, Netflix, or in the cinema? Do you know what I mean?
Speak on that. Actually, speak on that. How do you feel the rise of social media has impacted the film industry? Because now you're not going to the cinemas watch as much. You're watching everything from the comfort of your home, but you can watch it on your laptop, you can watch it on your tablet, you can panoramic it to your TV. How do you feel that's impacted? Has it been a positive impact? Has it been a negative impact? What do you think?
And I love film. I love going into a cinema. I love going into a theater, but because it's accessible. And the thing about sometimes film is that it's not always accessible to everyone. Either they can't afford to go to the cinema, or they don't feel like cinema or theatre is for them. So the National Theatre put on a lot of the theatre productions they had. They put it on YouTube for people to watch, and some of them are amazing. I've watched some, like one called Small Island. I've watched some amazing Barbershop Chronicles, like amazing theatre productions that a lot of people couldn't probably afford to see or think it's accessible for them. But it's on YouTube and they can see it. And I feel like this lockdown has just opened everybody's eyes to be like, look, these things are out there, and let's not, the theatre or the cinema is not the only place we can enjoy the people's bodies of work. Even down to IGTV, you know, IGTV on Instagram is a platform where people are putting lots of their little short films, you know, when normally on a normal day, if we weren't all inside, we might not have half the views we're getting, do you know what I mean? But now everybody's inside, you can get those views, people can see your talent. So, I mean, for my industry, I would say the lockdown hasn't been the worst thing, because it's given people time to actually engage and watch things, but it's definitely a loss for that magical experience of going to the cinema, getting your popcorn, do you know what I mean? But definitely. I'm not against Netflix. I'm not against online platforms or anything like that. I think that the more the merrier.
That's true, and I agree. So do you see now a future where people are going to start to create things just for those online platforms, and then they're going to save different kind of content, or they might do, like, you see, like how back in the day there was like, oh yeah, there's the DVD version, now there's the Blu-ray, now there's the 4D or the 3D. So are we going to have productions now where if you want the theatric experience, now you need to come and see it in the theater, and this is why now you pay more, because you're having this real life moment. You can feel, sense this, you know, like how some of these cinemas now they do the real experience where the chair vibrates, the water hits you for real and it flings you. So now, will you see that as a reason for directors and film creators like yourself now to say, you know what, I can really play with my imagination on a grander scale, because I can give you something nice and compact and easy for your Amazon Prime or your Netflix, or I can now take you on a greater journey, and in the theater now I can have you spending X amount more, but you're gonna get that lifetime experience where you're gonna sit down and say, yes, this is it.
I think, yes, you should be able to create content for all platforms. I think you should be able to have content that you can maybe put on YouTube or put on IGTV or whatever, or Vimeo, and then there's content where you can only experience it in the theater. It won't be the same if you watch it online, and do you know what I mean? So I feel like as a creative, you have to be able to be flexible. And a lot of creators around me have adapted and realized that, boy, I can get views on Reel, I can go get views on IGTV, and people can appreciate what I'm doing, and then that'll get me an opportunity to do this and that. Do you know what I mean? Because you can enjoy something for a moment, then it's always going to be what's next. So I feel like as a creative, definitely, people will start creating things for all this. We're going to see what happens post-lockdown, because I'm not sure how it's going to be. Theatres might be absolutely rammed. You don't know. Or theatres could be quiet. We don't know, you know.
I feel like we're going to see a nice, heavy impact of people saying, you know what, I can finally go out and... Because once the crave for eating out and partying has died down, people are going to be like, what else can I do that's outside of the house that I haven't done in a while? Oh, let's go to the theatre. And because they spent so much time seeing these productions on IGTV, on YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok, and so on and so forth, it's like, you know what? I wonder what that would be like in person. I want to be able to see and feel and meet the actor, meet them backstage and say, you know what?
Yeah.
That really spoke to me. I really loved that. So I think that's going to be an upscale for that. So I'm excited. Even myself, I like going to the... I'm not a massive movie person or a movie watcher, but when I'm excited about seeing a film, I do enjoy going to the cinema, because it's the whole experience of, all right, let me some chicken wings or something, or let me go and buy the hot free slushy that's gonna make my jaw up because it's so cold. But it's all a part of it. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna watch. The last film I went to watch was Blue Story, yeah, and then before that I watched Wakanda. I would love to hear from you as a woman and as a director. How do those films and those stories impact you as a woman and as a Black woman and as a director? Do you feel happy and engaged? And especially looking at Blue Story with how much fire it got, is that something that you can relate to that tangibly and say, yes, this is definitely something I'm experiencing and I'm glad to see? Or, you know, what's your views?
Blue Story was not my reality growing up. Not from London. So I would, you know what I mean? A lot of the things I see, like, raw for money, you know, I wasn't doing this in the 016 one, so no. But I can imagine, and obviously we did have like violence to a certain degree and fight and things like that. So when I watch it, I can't lie. It's like I'm watching someone else's experience when I watch certain things. So for me, it's great to have people's stories. If it's your story and your reality, it should be told. You know what I mean? So Blue Story, of course, like, I'm very happy that it did so well, and the acting was really great, and it was a great script. You know what I mean? It was put together nicely, like, and no one can take anything away from that. Do you get what I mean? It did its job and it did well. What was the other film that you said you saw? Wakanda, and it Black Panther, an amazing film. Like, Black Panther was an absolutely great film, and that kind of broke the ice for us in seeing a different reality on screen, like seeing it all, like a majority Black cast on screen, and seeing it as a hero. Do you get, like, a hero? So not necessarily a sad story about our slavery time. Do you get? So
exactly.
Refreshing.
Definitely refreshing. That's one of the reasons why I was so heavy onto it, and I pushed it, and I made sure to go. I had my dashiki, everything. I was ready. I had a bracelet I got from going to Ghana. I was just like, yo, this is it. I'm pumped. Before it started, I had my Black Panther fist up in the cinema, ready. I'm in there like swimwear, and it's just repping, and I love that, and I feel like we need more films like that. And not to say that Blue Story is bad, but I feel like we've had so many versions of Blue Story now that we need more Wakandas. We need more of the stuff that Brown Sugar Award and Movement are going to be bringing out and doing, where the women are, you know, we need some more stuff like Insecure, where the women are leading it, the women are giving their realities, their struggles, their strives, their successes as well, and saying, yo, this is how I'd like to see us in the future. This is how I'd like to see us, you know, progressing and going forward. And I look forward to seeing that more from the directors. What are your plans for 2021 now going forward?
Boy, just to touch on the point you just made, I think a lot of that as well is to do funding and to do popularity as well. So those kind of films normally will always get like people watching them. Like that kind of violence or the gang thing, or we might get numbers. And another story about a love life, a little love story in London might not get the numbers in the cinema screen. So it's an industry that's very much a number game, unfortunately, and it's not always about the story and the heart. So you're gonna, a lot of, especially women, are gonna miss out on opportunities of maybe telling their thing because they don't get the chance. Like I said, Issa Rae is like, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you. Like, we just pray that more stories are going out there. This year, I'm focused mainly on working with, like, personally, like, brands. So I've just been focusing on brand work, and like I do sometimes like music videos and stuff like that. And it's not really my thing anymore. Like, I like to work with like artists who are up and coming or new, or artists that I really love. Other than that, it's not an industry that I enjoy. The music industry, no offense to people in it. It's just one industry that I find very fast and too quick and not and a little bit mixed up. It's got a lot going on in it, and it's a very difficult industry to maintain sanity. So yes, for me, I just stick to what I love, and that's right now this year God has blessed me, and I'm able to now I've been working with brands, and I'm working with brands that I love and respect, and creating stories and documentaries, and like just more gaze into that side of what I'm doing, and creating stories about me, about womanhood, being Jamaican, and you know what I mean? Like I rep those things very hard. So I want to make sure those stories and those images are on screen in whatever format. So that's where my mindset's at. So this year, people just better be ready, because I'm not coming to.
Can you tell us any of the brands you've worked with in the past? In the past, any of the brands you've worked with in the past?
I haven't. No, this is my first year working independently with brands.
Okay.
This is my first year. I'm working with a toy company this year. They're new, but it's an amazing thing. I'm working with 2 brands like in this summer, and I'm working like, do you know what I mean? Like, and who knows what else is gonna pop up? Like, it's just gonna be.
That's true. That's true.
It's just gonna be shut down. But I've just been sitting patiently, sitting quiet, because when I reveal the things I've been doing and creating, I'm just like, I know people are gonna love it. So yeah,
I'm excited. You're making me excited. That's what I like, and that sounds good. How have you coped though in the pandemic? The last 12 months, last 12 to 14 months, how have you been coping? How is, the current conversation that we've been having the last 3 years is mental health, doing things to stay afloat, stay positive, stay above the line. How have you been managing that, with all that's happened? Because naturally, so many industries and walks of life have been affected by this pandemic, and definitely yours has, because you haven't been able to go out and film, screen, and so on like you used to. How have you coped with that?
It's okay. I won't lie to you. I needed the rest. So, like, with my job, I was able to have a bit of furlough time. So it just gave me time to relax. I really needed a break. So it's been okay for me in terms of, like, as a creator. It's given me a chance to create, develop ideas, think about them, and have time to write them down and actually develop them properly. Yes. When you're always doing a 9 to 5, like, God bless my 9 to 5, I love it. But it just takes away so much of your time, and you don't realize that until a pandemic happens and you've got all this free time, and you're like, my ideas are coming to life, I'm loving what I'm doing, and it's only because you actually got the free time. So I think that's really geared me on to, like, say, Olivia, this year, like, try and get into that bag where you're doing this for, like, 100%. God willing, that comes through. But for now, yeah, we keep the 9 to 5. But it's been nice. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed watching things at home. I have a sister who loves watching TV and film, just like me. And do you know what I mean? We watch things together. I drag her to watch certain things. Do you know what I mean? We have very similar tastes in that way. So it hasn't been bad for me. I would say that I feel more bad for other people who, like, created something that needed to be in the cinema or needed to be on theatre, or started their theatre production and had to end it after 2 days because of during lockdown. Those are the people I feel for. Like that. Yeah, I feel for them, because it's not, you work so hard, and theatre's live as well. So imagine you've got all these months and you just do 2 shows and then it's locked off. Like, it's just crazy, dog. It's crazy. So, those are the people I feel for.
I hear you. Man, this is a great conversation, definitely. So going, and I'm so excited to hear that you have some proper popping stuff coming for us for 2021. You don't want to give us any exclusives, but we're looking forward to seeing the brands that you work with and how you're gonna push forward. Before we wrap up, what are some of the things you're looking forward to doing just personally? From June onwards, because Boris saying June the 21st we're outside. So what are you going to be doing? What's going to be the first things that you're going to be doing when we're outside? To roam and enjoy and to interact and socialize.
I'm excited to see my friends. I'm excited to go for a little drink. I'm excited to go shisha. I'm not craving rave. I'm in work mode right now.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a work year. Like, this summer I'll be enjoying, but I'll be working on my project. Because I can't have full enjoyment till next year, because I already know how the ticket's gonna be. Tickets out at 11. By 11:02, tickets are sold out. Yeah. That kind of thing that we did last year, like I can't. That thing we did last year was last year, and this year I can't bring that energy in, like holding on for dear life for these tickets and stuff, like for raves. I think festivals like are sick and things like that, but I feel like I've just mentally outgrown things. Like, where I want to be, I need to work hard this year. So I'm just kind of like, Olivia, shisha, a little drink. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking forward to. Like those kind of things. Go to nice restaurants. Yeah, with a few friends, being at people's houses and just drinking and eating and vibing. That's what I'm looking forward to. But I don't mix raving, if that makes sense. Maybe because I'm a bit older and I've raved my life away, but
yeah, I understand. That makes sense.
You know the vibe, innit? So I just want to travel. I'm just kind of in a more, I don't know, I think as you get older, your mindset's a bit more like, all right, cool. I want to travel, I want to relax, I want to be happy, I want to be chilling with my people, I want to feel good. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be like, till 5 a.m. every weekend. Like, yeah.
That's definitely true. That is definitely true. What about me? For me, I am definitely looking forward to the events. Obviously, as a host / DJ and as an event producer myself, I'm definitely looking forward to getting out there, seeing the people enjoying themselves, being the reason why they're enjoying themselves, both behind the scenes curating the events as well as hosting the events or DJing at the events. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, Boris gives us a nice 3 months of that, and then we're good to go. And then I'm looking forward to going to certain restaurants that I've heard and seen about in these last few weeks and months. People have, been posting up pictures of their last time out, and I'm like, what? I never knew about a restaurant. Okay, cool. When the cinemas do open, I'm gonna be in there for sure. I'm gonna watch at least a film or two and enjoy the moment where I've got my hot dog with all the cheese and the mustard and the chili. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of your projects and where they're going to be based, if they're going to be on Netflix or in a theater or in a space. Therefore, coming out there and supporting you as well. So I'm extremely looking forward to that. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to everything like that. Holidaying, I've kind of put in my mind at the back of that to say, you know what, we might not be able to go on holiday this year yet, but things are looking up. We are seeing countries, say they're off the red list and they're taking people in as long as they've got a very recent COVID test and or as well as the vaccination passport. So I'm not trying to get too excited about the holidays. I'm just more focusing about what can I do in London that I haven't been able to do in a while. Santander bikes is definitely going to be me. You got to try and keep the shape in proper condition.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to gym.
That's definitely what I'm looking forward to. Come through. Definitely what I'm looking forward to the most, man. So, man, this has been a fantastic conversation to see how and why we can, build and see women come through. Brown Sugar Awards this year, perhaps?
Absolutely. We're doing it, period.
You're doing it, period. Nice, man. I love that. Definitely. So, Olivia, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Like, to see the journey, to see the growth. And I know, There's so much in store. People, don't forget to follow. Click the links in the description box below. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're aware of what's going on. Keep up to date with what Olivia's happening, because she's an amazing director and she's got so much in store for us. And women, get behind the support, and men as well. Get behind and let's support our women in the community in all their endeavors. This is Doing It 365. I've been your host, Influential, reminding you once again to please be your best, do your best, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next episodes. Watch the last episode from before as well, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at Influential. Follow Olivia at Miss_Fraser. Her Instagram link is in the description box below. We are out, and we'll see you at the first film screening. Peace.
Bye.